Hey guys, so today is going to be a video about brushes, and this is a so long overdue video. This is going to be my part 2 of my makeup for beginners video, and video series. And if you haven't seen my makeup for beginners part 1, you should go check that out right now. That video will be linked somewhere on this screen and also in the description box, so please check that out. These are some of the brushes that I would recommend you have on you just to even get started with what you're doing. As far as makeup goes, it's really a personal thing. It depends on what you're doing, but honestly, brushes are the base of your makeup life. You need brushes just as much as you would need a hammer to build a table or something. Like, you can't not have brushes, because if you don't have brushes, then you can't get the most of your makeup experience. So each brush has 3 different components. It has the bristles, the ferrule, or if you've seen another brush like this is a ferrule, and this is the handle here. Basic anatomy of the brush is that the brush hairs are all glued inside this little ferrule. Brushes come in many different grades of quality as far as the bristles. If you look at a brush and you see the bristles on a brush, you see how they feel, you see how they look, especially when you put product on them. How they apply makeup is going to be different based upon the bristles. There's 2 different kinds of bristles. There's synthetic bristles and real hair bristles. Synthetic bristles are better for cream and liquids, which is more of foundations and concealers, whereas real hair bristles are better for dry powder products such as eyeshadows and face powders. Synthetic bristles are easier to clean. They don't soak up as much product, so it's easier to layer creams and liquids because it's not going to be absorbed into the brush, whereas real hair bristles are just like real hair, so they soak up moisture. They're not as easy to clean. You have to shampoo and condition them a lot to keep their durability, and I find that those shed more, and depending on what kind of cleaner you use, it may change the texture. So I find that synthetic bristles are more profitable to me, and I can use them for the face better, but real hair bristles are better for eyeshadow brushes. So before I get into the specifics of brushes, I just want to go ahead and give you some general overview of what brushes can do. Buffing, blending, and shading. Buffing is generally a term used when you're talking about foundation or blending out eyeshadow, but mostly for foundation. Buffing is generally done with a round, fluffy brush like these. These are all used to buff. And I apologize if some of my brushes look dirty, that's because I used them already. Generally, you would use a round, dome-shaped brush or something that is a little more flat on the top to buff out your foundation. When applying liquid or cream foundation, buffing is so important because you want to make sure that your foundation goes on smoothly and everything is covered, and you don't want any patchy parts, any streaks, anything like that. When you attempt to use a flat foundation brush like this, which is not a bad thing, when you use a flat foundation brush that's shaped something like this and you're just painting on your foundation, what I've noticed is it doesn't necessarily get the foundation as smooth, and you don't get an airbrushed finish or an application that looks the most natural. The most natural would be something that you would get when you use a rounder brush that allows you to really buff that foundation and work it into your skin so that it matches your skin better. If you were to use something like this, I would only use it for maybe concealer, because honestly, using this for foundation is not going to give you the it'll give you good coverage and it'll pack on the product pretty good, but it won't blend it out enough around, especially around the edges, and you don't want it to look like you have a cake face or your face is masked and it's just bad. Blending is very important because you want to make sure that your makeup looks flawless, and the key to a flawless face is to blend. Blend, 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 blend until there's nothing left to blend. You want everything to be diffused and dreamy and airbrushed looking. So that's what these brushes are for. I know people who just put on eyeshadow and they don't blend it out. They just put the colors on their eye and then that's it. No, you have to blend it out. You have to make sure that all your eyeshadow is blended together and it's neat and it has a nice transition so that you're not like putting blocks of color on your eye, because that's not flattering and it doesn't look natural. Blending brush can be used for so many different things. You can blend out concealer with it, you can blend out eyeshadow with it, you can get small corners of your face, anything. anything. And I love the fact that these are so versatile. These two brushes are blending brushes, and they're very similar to the MAC 217. This one is by Sigma, and it is the Sigma Blending E25. And this one is by Bedelium, and this one is 776. These are both amazing brushes. They're used for blending out eyeshadow, putting on eyeshadow, mostly for blending though. Another blending brush that I love is by Sonia Kashuk, and this one is a dome. It's almost a little longer. You can see the bristles are a lot longer on this one than they are on this one. I use this one to blend out eyeshadow in the crease. There's also one very similar to it here. This one is by Sigma, and it is the E40. I have another one here that is a Sonia Kashuk. This one's really old and dirty, but I love this brush forever. It's one of my first brushes that I ever got. So shading is important because you want, when you want a even, flat color that stands out, packs a punch, it's there. You know what I mean? Like on your lid, if you want like a bright color and you want it to show up really, really well, or you want a lot of product so that it's opaque, you would use a shading brush. This is a shading brush, and it is by Sigma, and this is the E55, and this is a shading brush, and I love this one. This one is shorter and more compact and dense, and this one, to me, this one is thinner. It's flatter and it's thinner, and it's a little bigger and more rounded at the top. These are both great for packing on product. This one is probably for a smaller eye than this one would be. This one is more precise than this one is because of the density, especially if you wanted to do your underneath your eyebrow to sculpt your eyebrow out. Mind you, brands are important, but brands aren't important, if that makes sense. You don't need MAC, you don't need Sigma, you don't need expensive brushes. I just love trying new products out, so that's why I have all of them. But it's not necessarily what you buy, it's how you use it. The cheapest brushes on the market are by Eyes Lips Face, which is ELF, E-L-F. And you can find that at Target, Walmart, and I think some CVS and Walgreens, but mostly drugstore. And Eyes Lips Face brushes run about $1 each. Here's an Eyes Lips Face brush if you were wondering. I also have some more in my kit. This is a smudging brush for, like, you know, under your eye, but I use it for using concealer underneath when I do people's eyebrows. They are made with synthetic hairs. My all-time favorite brush brand would have to be Real Techniques. I love these brushes because they're so soft, they're so easy to use, so easy to clean, and they just work. And you don't pay a whole lot for them. These were at Ulta, and I got the 4 set for like $17, I think, and the individual brushes are like range from $4 to $8, so that's not expensive at all. It's really good. And I'm going to talk about the essentials. So what you need is a powder brush. You can use a powder brush to apply powder onto your face. You can use it to apply your foundation. It'll give you a nice airbrushed finish. It won't be too thick or heavy on your face. It'll be very airbrushed and buffed out, depending on the consistency of your foundation, which I will discuss in Foundation Video 101. But these are great for light foundations, water-based foundations, foundations that are very sheer, that can build up. That's what this brush would be great for, buffing it out. You need a brush to apply foundation that's a little more heavy, that's not as easy to blend out. I would use a buffing brush for that, because the brush hairs are more dense and it's a dome shaped, so it's easy to work in circles and build and buff out your buff out your foundation. Like a brush like this or a brush like this can double up as a concealer and an eyeshadow brush, so you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And concealer also underneath and around your eyebrows would be perfect with a brush like this because it's more precise and you can easily go along the line of your brow. You need a good eyeliner brush like this. This is an eyeliner brush. You would basically apply your eyeliner with this or along your lash line, or even for your eyebrows. This is perfect for that because it's small and it's angular so that it can glide across wherever you are applying your product. They're very sturdy, easy to use, they don't slide around your eye, and they don't make a mess. So I love these. Preferably get one like this that has a spool on the end so that you can brush up your eyebrows. A blending brush, like I said, blending brushes. I have a jillion of them, but like I said, you can find one for really cheap. Sonia Kashuk has an amazing one, and it was very, very cheap at Target. It's soft and it doesn't shed on me, and I really, really like it. It's so easy to just blend out your foundation, your eyeshadow. You can blend out your concealer. You can blend out anything, really. It's great for blending. I can even use it to contour. Anything else would just be trial and error for you to experiment with. Some of my favorite extra brushes that I like to use, or products that I like to use on my face. You don't necessarily need them, but they're my favorite, so I would suggest trying them out. Would be the Deluxe Crease Brush by Real Techniques. You can pack on color with it, but you can also buff it out and blend it really nicely. I use this mostly for concealer under the eyes because you can apply a lot of product and it still look natural because it's buffing and applying at the same time. So I really like this. So I wouldn't consider this in any category. I just really think that it's a great mix of all three. Another brush that I would suggest, highly, highly, highly recommend, would be a flat top brush like this. If you wanted to do concealer and really get a straight angular line, that's perfect for this. It's also perfect for really getting eyeshadow or eyeliner on your lash line so that you can get a precise line. 714 by Bedelium. These two brushes here, they're pretty much the same thing. One is just a smaller version of the other. This is Sigma Tapered Highlighting Brush F35. I use this to apply my highlighting powder here and here. I'll talk more about highlighting later, but that's great for that. This is great for contouring and highlighting as well, and I also use it for blush. This one is by Sedona Lace, and it's the FB03. Or something else that I would suggest getting that's not really a brush, but it works as a tool for your face, would be a beauty blender. Now I've heard a lot of different beauty blenders do the same thing, but this is the original beauty blender. I love this for blending out my concealer underneath my eyes. It works perfect for that. I don't like using it for foundation, and I don't like using it wet. I know you're supposed to use it wet, but I only like using this for my concealer, so I don't need to wet it. If you're using it for foundation, you would need to wet it because you don't want all your foundation to soak into here and you don't get the most out of your foundation. But I just like to use it for concealer so I don't have to wet it or anything. This is a powder puff. Makeup artists don't really use these anymore, but I find them so amazing because they're perfect for setting your foundation. I'll put a link to where I got this online because I've never seen these anywhere else. I also have the ones that are more like flat and they're not furry or anything, but these are perfect for applying foundation, especially on people who are oily like me. If you wanted to pack on some powder so that your face does not shine, this is perfect for that because it really gets a lot of product and just sets it so nicely. Because when you're using a brush like this and you're blending out your foundation powder, it's just lightly applying the powder. Unless you press down, it's not going to pack that product on. But this will pack it on, and this will make it stay. It'll stay put all day and it won't go anywhere, and I just love this. I love this. It's so amazing, and it was really cheap. It was only $4. So I will post a link to where I got this down below, but I love these for that reason. Perfect for photo shoots and things like that. So yeah, those are my favorite brushes, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I think that I covered everything. If I didn't cover everything, I'm sorry. I just wanted to give you guys the basis of brushes and how they work, what you use them for, and all that. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.